Right then, good morning ladies and gents, I hope you're all well. Today I'm going to be changing the rear bearings and the front bearings. Also, I'll be changing the cush drives in the hub and the hub bearings. First, I'm going to be putting some bobbins into the rear swing arm at the back. Looks like they had some in the past, but they don't have them anymore, so I've purchased some of those. I'll put those in, put the bike on the stand, and then I'll remove the rear wheel and we'll go from there. I've got these Oxford wheel bobbins, swing arm bobbins. I'm going to just put a bit of copper grease on the thread and put them in so they don't seize. Right, that was the easy bit done. Beautiful. I said that was the easy part and it turned out to be a bit complicated. Right, okay, so I've just put the bobbins onto the swing arm. I'm now going to take the bolt off here, push the rod out and pull the wheel out, and then we'll start playing around with the bearings and the hub on the other side. The hub here. Oh, I was worried then I didn't have a socket big enough. Right, so try to always keep the pieces together. Helps remind you which way they went. Just take you around to this side here, loosen this off. I believe it's had a new chain and sprocket recently, which is very good news, and whoever fit everything has really made my life easy. It looks like he's got anti-seize on the threads here, he or she, whoever did this. I have to thank them a lot. seems they've maintained the bike very well. And then gently, this should roll out. So the back wheel's now out. I've put it onto these wooden blocks here, just so that you don't bend the disc when you put it onto the floor with the disc there. You have a chance to warping it. So I mentioned on my previous video that there's a bit of movement in this here. I don't know if you can see it moving forwards there. So it shouldn't do that. Over time, these have just got worn. Right then, so with the hub assembly, you've got a little spacer thing here which will keep to the side, so that's for the front, and then we have this at the back which goes in there. Oh, I've just got it stuck, there we go, so that goes at the back. So front's on the right, back's on the left. Try to keep everything in order so you remember. I need to take this just cover off now, and then the bearing that you might be able to see is just here. It feels alright, to be honest. But as I've got them, as I said, I'm just going to do it. So I'm going to get the dust cover off, and then get the bearing out. And I don't know if you can see, it's quite grimy. But overall, to be honest, there's no play in it, so I don't really need to change it. But I shall, as I'm already here. Right, so next thing to do is get a bearing puller. You can get the one which I would prefer that sits on here. It's like a bridge, and then you just twist and it puts pressure on here and pulls the bearing out. I don't have one of those, so I'm going to try you put one of these bearing pullers in here, you screw this down, it opens it up, and then you just bang it out. I'm hoping that will work. Right then, so put this in here, just tighten it enough so it lips onto the back of the bearing. To everyone that has a garage, I'm really jealous of all of you. Absolutely all of you, I'm so jealous. I would love a workbench, I'd love everything to be in a place. Well, anyway, enough of my moaning. If you can see that there, so that's seated on the edge of the bearing here. So the idea now is if I get this here, it's got the, there we go, looks a bit wrong on the camera, but hey. The idea now is if I gently see, if I had something to hold it down, it would be so much easier. You'll have to excuse me, I'm just going to fight a bit with this. Okay, so I'm not having any success with that. I'm going to try and hammer it through the bottom. Right then, that is out. The bearing I've purchased actually has a cover on this side and on this side, whereas all the bearings are on show here. So in actual fact, I'm quite happy, just for the safety of it, the grease will stay in the new bearing because it's got a cover over that as well, so I'm pretty happy. Gross, dirty, and it's a very messy job. Right, so I've got my bearing here. As I mentioned, it's actually got the seal on this side and on this side, so that should just go in there nicely. Now there is a trick that a lot of people say is put these in the freezer briefly, which I might actually do, but no, should be alright. Should be alright. It's cold enough out here anyway, it won't make a difference. Right. So now got this here. Let's gently tap it into place. Right, and now I've felt that seat here. I'm going to give it a few more taps. There we go, that's seated nicely. On the back there, it's on the back here as it should be. So now it's just putting the dust cover on. Get this out. And push that in. And that's flush. So that's done there. Right then, onto the rear wheel now. So these are the cush drives that I've mentioned before. Just going to pull them out. And now we'll be replacing them with these ones here. So hopefully that'll stop the movement in the sprocket. So I'm going to take the dust seal off now. Right, so that's one dust seal. Right, so we'll see if I can pull it with the puller. That will help me out massively if I can. working. There we go. I'm knackered. So these are the same actually, I don't know if you can see. They haven't got the seal cover on these sides. So it must be just the different types of bearings that they have. So yeah, there we go. And that'll be easier because I'm just going to hammer the other one through here, so I don't need to do the pulling. So that goes in the centre of, sorry, out of breath now doing all that. So that goes in the centre between the bearings, so I'm putting that to the side. I'm now going to hammer the bearing out of the other side. I won't be using that thing again. I'm going to properly invest in the bridge one I mentioned. There's no way I'm doing that again. Right. Right. So that's both bearings out. And again, yeah, they haven't got a seal on them. Oh, the oil stinks. The grease that's in here stinks. Right, what did I do with the other one? Oh, it's that. Everything all clean, so I'm going to put the new bearings in. Same as the hub. You wrong one. Right. Let's gently put this in. Musical instruments. So before I put the dust seal on, I'm going to quickly do the other side. So you want to put this in the middle there. Bearing. Right, let's push this one in. That, so the dust cover goes on the side that hasn't got the hub to protect that side. And I've got my glove in it. Beautiful. Right then, so that's the bearing on this side, that's the bearing on that side, and now we need to put the hub cushions in. We'll do that now. Oh. Oh, that looks pretty. There's the bearing in here, which moves around nicely. So yeah, just buttoning it all back up now. So if I put this here, this should go in here like that. Oh, a bit dirty. that should go in there, like that. And then that goes in here. So I've been told that there's a very tight fit in there, so I'm going to have to use some force. So if you bear with me. Right, now, if you remember when I first had it, there was movement. There is not an ounce of movement in that anymore. So, very happy that I've done that. I should feel the difference now. So I'm going to put it all back together. I'm going to quickly clean all in here, because when the wheel's in you don't see this. So I'm going to quickly clean all in there, put the wheel back together. And then I've got to do it all over again for the front. I'm not going to record the front, it's exactly the same process. So I hope that helped. I would say, if anything puts you off, if anything puts you off doing that from the video, you know, it was a struggle. I just ask everyone to give it a go. It is difficult at times, especially when you're doing it on the driveway. It's you come up with problems. You haven't got the right tools as you would in a garage, but with a bit of perseverance, just a bit of time, if you're getting a bit tired, just stop, get a coffee, get a tea, go back out when you've refreshed, and then carry on. You will get it done. The right tools will help you massively. If you get the puller that looks like a bridge, and then it goes on the actual hubs or the wheels and then pulls upwards, putting pressure down, it will be so much easier. It'll be like a dream. So hope this video helps for anyone that wants to do their bearing. It is the raw of it. Driveway maintenance, a bit challenging but achievable. So I hope the video was of help, and I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Next video I'd like to do some camping, but I don't know how or when that's going to happen yet. I would like it in the next day, week maybe, but the weather's getting colder, it's getting wetter, and I don't really want to do it in the wet. I don't mind the cold, but I don't want to do it in the wet. So there might be a video of riding in between, another video of something else, and then I will do some camping. Camping is on the horizon, and then after that I would like to go up to Scotland and do a road trip up Scotland. So a lot to come. Please do like and subscribe. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for seeing me struggle, and yeah, try and give it a go. All right, bye.